You don't have to travel very far in order to witness some of our area's natural beauty. Some might even be in your own backyard. We're here to guide you to those areas and show you how to make a day into an adventure. So hop on board with us as we go out and about with Casey and Emily. Major Graham's Mansion, home to the Civil War hero located in Max Meadows, Virginia. It is also said to be one of the most haunted places in the area. We were excited to explore the mansion, but what we were not prepared for was the strange experiences and stories we were about to face.
I went back here to Martha's room, and there was a chair.
Oh, there are children in this room, and it's a classroom, and one of them died in this room.
As we turned onto the gravel road that led us to the mansion, it was as if we were taking a step back in time. Little has changed about the Annabella Mansion since Squire David Graham built it in the 1830s. Squire's son, Major David Graham, later owned the mansion. Graham was a Civil War hero in the area, and history shows that secret Confederate meetings were held in the mansion. This took place in the top floor of the house. Till this day, you can still see where they wrote on the walls. Graham had 2 daughters and a wife. His daughters' names were Emily and Betty. Betty wrote in a diary which is now in the University of Virginia's library. According to the diary, Betty and Emily used the room in the house as a classroom where they would school children during the Civil War. One of the children was an orphan named Clara. It was said that Betty adopted Clara without her parents' permission and kept her hidden in the room. Graham's wife was Martha Graham. Coming from a wealthy family, Graham did not hesitate to marry her. But as the years in war went on, she began to slowly go mad. David Graham would have none of that behavior, so he locked Martha up in a room so no one could witness his wife's behavior. There are said to be many shadows that lurk the hallways of the mansion. But are these legends and strange, unexplainable happenings actually real? Mary Lynn Brewer was happy to give us a tour of the mansion and let us know what really went on in the house.
Things that the ghost hunters did. We had ghost hunters, just little bitty ghost hunters, nothing flashy. They came in, and I thought the chaperone room would be our most haunted, but it was this room. They got the voice of a little girl in here, and the little girl is saying, "What's your name? What's your name?" And they go back and forth with their ghost hunter stuff, and they figure out each other's names. And so they ask her name, and the EVP that comes back is Dara, Dara. Well, you don't really pick up S's and SH's on the recordings, and so they said, "Oh, is it Tara?" And there's a no, and the flashlight didn't come on. That's one of the things they use is a flashlight, a mag light. It comes on and off for yes and no. And so it doesn't come on. All right, they say, "Is it Sarah?" It doesn't come on. They'll say, "Turn the flashlight on if it's Sarah." Nothing happens. And they'll say, "Turn the flashlight on if it's Clara." Boom. All the lights went, all these flashlights went off. It was incredible. Okay, and they do that over and over again. Well, when it happens over and over again, that means it's happening. And they try to figure out if anything else is happening, and they have these. So that's where Clara came from. It came from the first investigators, and the clairvoyant confirmed it. And then the clairvoyant told me that her parents died during the Civil War, and the girl snuck her up to this bedroom, and she lived here for a couple of years. And she became ill, like with pneumonia or the flu, and she died here. And they wrapped her body in a white sheet, and they put her in that closet till they could sneak her outside to bury her. So one of the things that she will do is that she will sometimes play with us. She'll sometimes roll a ball with us. And the the way it works is we just kind of touch a ball, and then sometimes it rolls around, and it rolls in such a way that it should not be rolling that way. Our first haunted house, she dropped marbles from the 4th floor on our heads and on the customers' heads from the top. Marbles, we would have marbles hitting us and guests on the head, and nobody was up there on the 4th floor. And they were all coming down. It's like a hail of marbles. We found all these marbles at the end of the night. And then, and whenever we used the 2nd floor for the haunted house, a ball would just come sailing through a bedroom, and in the dark, and hit our actors. And it was just the strangest thing. And we thought, I wonder what she's doing. And we just thought it was Clara. But I have so many people that come through. It's about 4 to 1 women to men, but we do have men that come in, and they often won't even come up the stairs. They stay outside.
As we left the most haunted room known in the house, we made our way up to where they used to hold secret Confederate meetings.
And the legend is that officers met up here, and whenever the ghost hunters come up here, they sometimes see officers up here. Sometimes they see wounded soldiers here. It's not beyond the stretch of the imagination that a wounded soldier would wander up here. However, if the Yankees had ever come here, they would have burned it down, because Squire David was making iron for the Confederacy. That is, his iron went into the cannons, the shot, the butts of the rifles, so they would have burned this place down if they found it. So it was good that we were off the beaten track, because it would have been the end. Major Graham was much loved by his men, and we have no evidence that he is here as a ghost. We have maybe one EVP that says, I was a major. It's a real good EVP, but we're not positive it was him who said, did you fight in the Civil War? Yes. And it's verbal. I mean, we have this male voice. Yes, I was a major. And we got that last year. So that's our first indication that Major Graham is here. So, but Squire David, we have hundreds from him. Get out.
After we experienced the top floor, we made our way back down to Martha's room.
All right, so, and Martha, you know, we have her just enamored with David Graham in the book. She just falls head over heels for him. And to David Graham, it's just a strategic move for him. Every decision he makes throughout his whole life is based on money. There are so many people like that, especially men. He's not different from a lot of other people. He's very ambitious, and it serves him real well because he becomes fabulously wealthy. But he marries well. And whenever he marries, he gets part of lead mines, then he takes them all to court. And by 1855, he's the primary owner of lead mines.
In Martha's room, Brewer said that she was mentally sick and passed when she was only 59 years old. Squire David locked her in her room so no one would see her. As time went on, she started to forget her loved ones, so she carved their initials out in the window to help her remember. The Grahams weren't the only ones that lived on the land. Before the mansion was built, there stood a cabin which was resident to Joseph Baker. His 2 slaves decided to murder Baker and stuck his remains in moonshine. On May 6, 1784, the slaves were hung for what they had done. Some say they still roam the grounds as well as the basement on the mansion, which is where Squire David would shackle his slaves. Besides the mansion, you also have the slave quarters in the wash house. However, not as much activity come from those buildings. Is the mansion actually haunted? Well, that's up for you to decide when you make your visit to the mansion. Josiah Weaver is the current owner of the house and has been putting on the Graham Fest. Brewer informed us more about the festival.
We're very excited to offer Josiah's Graham Fest again this year. We started Josiah's Graham Fest in 2007 and we ran through 2010, and we've been on hiatus for a couple of years, but now it's back. Graham Fest 2014 will be on Labor Day weekend, August the 30th, and the gates open at 1 o'clock and they close at 11 o'clock. The Major Graham Band, very popular Southern rock band from this area, will be our lead artist, and we'll also have Cimarron, Tangent, Matt Edwards and the Lonely, Steam Shovel, and Adam McPeak and Mountain Thunder. Those are our artists. They're mostly country or rock or Southern rock. Adam McPeak is bluegrass. So they will be on Josiah's amphitheater stage, which is massive, 4 stories high, 120 by 60. We're very excited about that. And then we'll also have historic tours of the Major Graham Mansion. We're calling it Behind the Screams because we open for the Haunted Graham Mansion the end of September, so we actually have a few of our sets already in place. But the ticket for adults for Graham Fest is $10, and let's see, senior citizens and the military and children between 8 and 15 are all $5. Children under 7 are free. So we want families to come out and enjoy the day. The tickets for the tour of the mansion are an additional $10. We'll have food vendors here. We'll have the general store open, and we are planning on having the last book in the Legends of Graham Mansion series available on August the 30th. It's called Revelation. That's the final book. So it's going to be a big day for us.
So if you're ready for a night filled with music and horrors, make your way out to Graham Fest 2014, if you dare.